if Ric Flair would have been afforded the luxury of having 2 titles in his prestigious career, he probably would have been a 36-time World Championship title holder. I do not believe that John Cena should be allowed to count both titles. Count one or the other. You either count the WWE title or the World Heavyweight title, which it was the WCW one at the time. You can count one or the other. You cannot count both. Now, when they unified the 2 and made it 1, okay, yes, that counts. But you cannot count 2 titles. And that goes for everybody. I'm saying Randy Orton can't count his 12 times or whatever it is. I'm saying count 1 title. You can count 1 title during your freaking career. You cannot count both. That does not make sense. That is not fair. One is greater than the other, whether they wanted it to be or not. You choose which one is the greater one. You count that one. So on that merit, I support Jon Stewart, other than being a Seth Rollins fan myself. Of course I support Jon Stewart in taking down John freaking Cena, which Seth Rollins in the showing of this match didn't even need the help. But being the architect, the future of the WWE, he was not dumb enough to turn down help when it was presented with the ref out of the ring. So therefore, it was not a screwy finish. It was a perfect finish for your heel, your undisputed champion of the world, Seth Rollins. That match was perfect, and anybody who says otherwise can talk to me, because you know what? If you didn't think that was a perfect match for wrestling, stop watching. God, you know, I'm so sick of everybody being like, oh, Seth Rollins, he's a heel. He's supposed to do that stuff. What you so mad about? Seriously. Anyway, so that match, that was flawless. I'm calling match of the year. I mean, I've seen a lot of good matches this year, but that showing to me was great. Yes, the Kevin Owens and John Cena matches previous this year were great showings. The first one would be right up there for match of the year as well, with Kevin Owens winning clean. The problems with the other matches was they wouldn't let Kevin Owens win clean. So therefore, they did not hit that mark. Because this is showing somebody can beat John Cena. He didn't necessarily need help to beat John Cena, but being the heel, that's what you got. And it was perfect. It was great. The match was flawless. His new ring gear was flawless. He looked like an angel of white light fighting against the tyranny of John Cena. And it was perfect. And that should have closed the show. But we had 3 more matches to go. And, of course, we had the Divas Revolution match with Team Bay versus Team Bella versus Team, I'm still going to call them Submission Sorority, or the Powerpuff Girls, or what do they call them now? PCB, Paige, Charlotte, Becky. Yeah, that's right. And it was a good showing. Again, the Divas were put in the wrong time slot right after that hot match with John Cena and Seth Rollins, and put into the cool down spot, and so therefore the crowd wasn't that into it, and Becky came out with the win. I gotta admit myself, I was still tweeting and Facebooking people after the John Cena match. I wasn't that into it. I know these girls can do better. I've seen it on NXT. I have seen it time and time again. They need to be given the proper platform, the proper time slot to do these things. They need to give the proper story. I feel like if a title was on the line or something, this match would have been, people would have cared more about it. I feel like they just threw the match on there for a filler match, and I feel like it could have been so much more. I felt this way yesterday. I felt this way since they announced it. I was calling this summer tag for the longest time, let me tell you, because I felt like they were just putting every match as a tag team in there. And this was one of them that I felt that way about, because I know the talent of Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Paige, and I feel like they should be given so much more. I felt like a title should have been on the line tonight, and it just wasn't, so I couldn't really get behind it. I'm behind it because I support the NXT girls, the 4 horsewomen of NXT. I support Paige. I support all the divas and what they're doing so much. I want to see better things, but this match, just unfortunately to me, it didn't transcend anything, especially what we saw the night before with Bayley and Sasha Banks for the title the night before on NXT. So it wasn't really a game changer that I was looking for, but I didn't really expect it to be one. So it was a passable match for what it was. The next match, of course, was Kevin Owens versus Cesaro, which was a great match because Kevin Owens won. Now, if you saw Kevin Owens on the pre-show like I did, I was dying. Kevin Owens makes the perfect heel, and he will call anybody on their bullshit straight up. He is the perfect example of a monster heel because he comes out, he talks shit, and then he backs it up. And that's how they should keep on booking Kevin Owens. That's the problem I had with the John Cena feud. The first match, flawless. They should have kept it going from there. He should have won the U.S. title. And imagine how much more tonight's match would have meant if it would have been Cesaro versus Kevin Owens for the U.S. title, which is what it always should have been. But for some reason, creative, they didn't want it to happen that way. But that's what we got. Still a great match. I don't think I've seen Kevin Owens put on a bad match yet. Cesaro is always phenomenal, of course. I'm just a big Fight Owens fight guy, as you can see. So, it was still a great match to me. And then we have, of course, well, let me think. I know I forgot the Amel Green Arrow. What's up, buddy? I forgot the Green Arrow Amel and Cosmic King Barrett and Stardust match, which was good for what it was. It was passable, but for a celebrity coming in, I gotta admit, I've looked back to all the other celebrity cameos we had, and I kind of expected a celebrity heel turn here, which we didn't get. Of course, he did a solid showing, probably the most solid showing I have seen out of a celebrity guest cameo in a wrestling match. It was decent for what it was. It was nothing that I did not suspect or expect. It was decent. It was decent showing out of both men. It was a decent match. Seeing Neville perform the Red Arrow is always phenomenal. Oh man, 360 freaking splash off the second rope. That's phenomenal as well. It was a good match. It wasn't anything extraordinary, but it was great for what it was. It served its purpose, and it delivered on all fronts. And that's the point I'm stressing here on all the matches. Every match delivered on all fronts. Now we're going to take you to the main event. The main event of Taker and Lesnar. Taker and Lesnar, I'm going to be honest with you, when they first announced this match, the only thing I could say was, yes, I hope Lesnar, I hope Taker survives. Now, Taker survived the match. Taker won the match, as all y'all who watched SummerSlam could attest to. Now, this match was miles above what I expected or what I had hoped. This match was above their WrestleMania 30 appearance. This match was a great match between the two. Didn't quite take it to the heights of their Hell in a Cell encounter, but this match on its own, in the future of now, with Brock Lesnar being the Beast, was a great match. Me, myself, I was worried about this match because I didn't see a smart way of booking this match that made sense logically to the story, because you have Brock Lesnar who conquered the streak, and no one could defeat Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar is the Beast. I didn't see where it made sense to have Undertaker win and do that, and I didn't see where it made sense to have Brock Lesnar win. So really the way they ended it was the best way they could possibly end it, in my view. And this is because they had technically Brock Lesnar winning first, and when he didn't, Undertaker taking advantage with the low blow and choking him out to submit him, or not even submit him, to make him pass out. So he didn't even really give up. So therefore, officially by the officials, Undertaker won, but officially by the world, Brock Lesnar won. Therefore, you have a mix-up where you have to do the rematch. Everybody knew once this match was announced that they were going to have their rematch at WrestleMania. So you could not have a clean finish. I never called the clean finish for this. When anybody asked me who was going to win, I said no contest because that it was the only logical way to finish this, to have them both meet up at WrestleMania. Granted, I would rather have Sting versus Undertaker at WrestleMania because that's what everybody wants, but that's not what the story wants, that's not what the story calls for. Therefore, the story called the audible of the dual finish. Therefore, we have to have another match to declare the winner between Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker, which of course will be a retirement match, which of course will be The Undertaker losing to Brock Lesnar to pass on his legacy, because we all know that Brock Lesnar really likes Brock Lesnar, but Clyde's hold doors. But all in all, SummerSlam weekend to me was a 10. It was perfect. Both pay-per-views, perfect 10s in my book. Yes, I would have booked the Wyatts going over, and I would have booked some other things a little bit differently. If I could have my way with NXT, Sasha Banks and Kevin Owens would still be champions just because that's who I like. But the story needed it the other way, and I cannot argue with that. There were still great matches. There was still great everything going on this weekend. I cannot complain. I've been holding my WWE title up high in support of Seth Rollins and his movement. I've been wearing my KO gear all week long for Kevin Owens. I've been so happy for everything I've seen. I cannot complain about anything that I saw. I've been reading on the internet people saying that SummerSlam was a sham and all these things. Don't believe that. If you get a chance, watch both and judge for yourself, because to me, I feel it was a perfect weekend. I wouldn't have asked for anything more, and I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope this gave you some insight, and if I missed anything or you think or you have any questions, just let me know and we'll get back with that. All right? Anyway, y'all have a great weekend, and I will see y'all on the next time.